Hey guys, my name is Shayla. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I talk about motherhood, I talk about pregnancy, we try and do things eco-friendly, natural. We talk about co-sleeping and cloth diapering and natural birthing. And if you're into that, please subscribe. If you are not new here, welcome back. Please like the video. I am on Instagram, HEYSHAYLA. I have a podcast, HEYSHAYLA. It's HEYSHAYLA everywhere. HEYSHAYLA.com. All the things. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and today I want to talk to you about co-sleeping with the two of them. I remember when I was pregnant, I was like, well, this is the end of co-sleeping because we co-slept with my first. I was like, you can't co-sleep with a baby and a toddler, right? So I've got 2 resources that I want to start with. Resource number 1, safe co-sleeping. I have an entire video that talks about how to safely co-sleep. I will link that below. The other one is a podcast. I interview someone all about co-sleeping. She shares the biology that happens when you co-sleep, like your sleep cycles sync. There's just so many interesting things that happen, and just to make you feel better about co-sleeping. Because that's the number one thing, is like people are afraid that it's not safe. And so did I. I made a video about how I put 2 kids to bed by myself. Obviously co-sleeping came up, and I talk about it pretty openly. And people were like, but how? Like, what actually are the logistics? And I've been doing a lot of logistics video about transitioning to 2, like how to get in the car fast with 2 and how to put 2 to sleep and all sorts of stuff. Today I wanted to go through the actual logistics, which is why I'm in my bedroom, which is not where I typically film these things. I was like, my neighbors are gonna walk by and see a camera in my bedroom window and be like, okay guys. I looked back, and we did not start co-sleeping with the both of them until she was 3 months old. That's a question that I get a lot. They're like, but from when you bring them home from the hospital? No, we didn't. Because when I was pregnant and we were getting to the end, I was like, we have to sleep train the first. We have to, because she needs to learn how to sleep on her own so that I can figure out what to do with the baby. Like, it's too stressful. So we completely sleep trained her. Put her up, she would go to sleep on her own, sleep, and then like maybe in the morning, a couple hours, come in our bed. But like otherwise she just did her thing. Then she got sick and came back into our bed, and now that's where she is. And it actually works out better. But we went camping around 3 months, and it was 2 adults and 4 kids, and we were all in one tiny little trailer. Not tiny, but tiny for 6 people. The kids were not waking each other up when they were like waking up in the middle of the night crying or screaming or whatever. And this one was yelling, this one would be sleeping, and this is by design. Maybe people were meant to sleep all together, and children were meant to sleep through all the chaos once they're sleeping. So I was like, all right, let's give it a go. So now we all sleep together. So we do co-sleeping, and we do like a Montessori floor bed. And for the first 3 months, I would be in the bed with the baby, either in our bed or on her floor bed. That's where she is right now. She's napping. Or the toddler would be in her bed with dad, and I would be here, or whatever. They were typically not together. And then around 3 months, we all went together. The other thing is, it's typically just me and the girls in the bed. Seth oftentimes sleeps on the couch. This is something that you need to work out with your partner. Seth and I are very confident in our relationship. We check in with each other. Are we good with this? Of course, I would much rather sleep with my husband, but I love the like snuggles, and I feel like the sense of security and attachment that I'm creating with my girls, and he's totally cool with it. People are like, well, how are you gonna have sex if you're not sleeping in the same bed or you've got babies in your bed? And I'm like, you get creative, people. How do you, like, if you aren't gonna do it at night in the bed, where are you gonna do it? Spices it up a little bit. But you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not okay with it, or your partner's not okay with it, then you should be sleeping together. Sometimes Seth is in the bed with us, and it'll be Seth, Aaliyah, me, baby, or like Aaliyah, Seth, me, baby, and then Seth and I get to snuggle up a bit, touch feet, let each other know we still love each other. Oh, another thing a lot of people say is, what do you do when the babies start crawling? Our experience has been that they just sit. Like, both of my babies will just sit up and yell for me. They don't start crawling around. And I watch them on the monitor. I got a monitor that like moves. It's not just like fixed. So I can see when she's moving around, and I'm always like right there. Or you put the floor on the bed so that if they do fall off, it's not a big deal. We use like camping mattresses on the floor or on the wall in their bedroom next to their floor bed. Some people will start to put like twin mattresses on the floor so that their toddlers can sleep on the floor while they sleep on the big bed. Another option is to take a crib and put it on the toddler setting and just have it right next to the bed, so you can put the baby off of your bed but close to the bed. Look up how to do that safely so that like the crib doesn't go away and they can fall in the cracks or something like that. Obviously there's lots of options here, but that was like a big concern of mine. Like, when they start crawling, then you can't do it. They're just gonna crawl off the bed. They usually just sit up and yell. Let me show you the layout here. I'm just gonna strip this blanket off. You can see all of our really cute pillow designs. Okay, so this is it. Usually I create like a wall of pillows so that the baby sleeps here and she can't like roll off the bed. And then I sleep here, got baby here nursing, and then usually the toddler's on this side under my arm. She likes to sleep under my arm. I'm usually just like nursing here, whatever here. And then the other question a lot of people asked was, if you're always nursing on this side, aren't you just huge on this side? No, because you switch once the toddler's asleep. So toddler falls asleep, the baby falls asleep, I usually go out and do something, and then the baby wakes up in the middle of the night. The toddler's not gonna wake up in the middle of the night, but I'm gonna take the baby and I'm gonna bring her over to the other side, and I'm gonna do the cuddle curl. So weird to do a video on my bed. Pretend that this water bottle is my baby. Okay, I'm laying like this. Baby's here nursing. I can't really roll over on her because my legs are here and my arm. So this is like the safe position. That's called the cuddle curl. You just achieved your fitness goal. I must have a heart rate going. This is crucial. This pillow behind your back, so you can like kind of just lay like this and have your baby nursing. It's great. If you have your toddler there, obviously you can't do that. But once the toddler's asleep, she's usually like good to be on her own. So I just have this line of pillows. Baby here, me here, toddler here. Baby cries in the middle of the night. I just flip her over here. So then I'll be here so I can kind of like protect the baby from the toddler. Baby nurse is on this side. Oh, great. And that's it. There was no good angle to do this video from. And then the blankets, at your discretion. Like I usually keep the blankets off the baby or until I feel like she's comfortable enough to like have some blankets on her. Some people use a sheet. Some people make sure that they have a long sleeve shirt on. There's lots of options there. That is your discretion. You get to decide. Changing diapers, I usually size up at night. So we do cloth diapering 80-20. 80% of the time we do cloth, 20% of the time we do disposable. In that 20%, it's like when we leave the house at nighttime or like while I'm washing the other ones. So at nighttime, she's probably in like a 3-4. At night, I have her in a 5, like Aaliyah's old diapers, so that she's not gonna leak anywhere. We use cloth diapers for my 3-year-old now because she's pretty good about not wetting the bed. And so I was wasting like these dry diapers. I'd put her on her like 2 nights in a row, but they'd still be dry. And I'm like, this feels insanely wasteful. So now the toddler wears cloth diapers to bed that are usually dry, and then the baby wears disposables. Sometimes in those like wee morning hours between like 4 and 6 or something, but usually they wake up just to come back to me and cuddle, and then they keep sleeping for a little bit longer. I used to get really frustrated when like the baby would wake up and then the toddler would be up for the day, but it's fine. It works out because then they both go to sleep around the same time. That was another big question. Do they go to sleep around the same time? They do. I talked to the sleep consultant who helped us train Aaliyah, and basically as these sleep cycles are just adjusting to our schedule. So we start bath time at like 7:30. So we'll go to bed between like 7:30 and 8, I would say, depending on what we did that day, if she took a nap, blah, blah, blah. And the baby does too. So what that means is typically she is a good day napper because she doesn't get like the full 12 hours at night. She gets like 10 or 11 hours, but she's consistently up at 6:30. It's not like she's sleeping until 9 because she goes to sleep at 8 or whatever, or 8 to 8. What I watch for is just to make sure that she gets the right amount of total sleep hours in like a 24-hour period, and she does. So she makes up for it during the day. But she's also so flexible. Like she can have crazy wake windows and is just like pretty chill as long as she's touching me. We go to lay down at the same time, but they don't always go to bed at the same time. So this one might fall asleep like instantly, and this one it takes 45 minutes. And the toddler usually is just like crawling all over and talking and singing, and I'm not ready for bed. And I just tell her like, hey, Aaliyah, you don't have to go to sleep, but you do have to be quiet. Put your head on the pillow, please. And sometimes she doesn't. She still just like goes all, and I just kind of let her wind down, let her do her thing. We usually talk about our day, and we do like a prayer, and then we say goodnight, love you, blah, blah, blah. And so we kind of have like a talk down process. And sometimes she's like, no, I don't want to talk about my day. And I'm like, okay. Eventually they fall asleep. It takes a while, and I've had to like accept that it takes a while. Or the toddler will fall asleep immediately, and the baby's like sitting up and moving around, and I'm like, what is happening? Going to sleep. I would say sometimes it varies by 45 minutes. Like it just depends. You have to be okay with that. Once the toddler's asleep, she's almost 3. She's out unless she's sick. Once the baby's asleep, she wakes up about every 45 minutes, usually, unless I give her like a really hearty like avocado dinner, like fats, and she sleeps a little longer, but she's usually up every 45 minutes just to check in. I come in here, lay down, usually just put my boob in her mouth and she falls back asleep, and then I'm good for another 45. But then what? It's like 10 o'clock and I'm like, well, I need to go to bed anyway, so then I just go to bed. We've got this hatch, so it makes like the white noise. I do have a couple of diapers over there. If I do decide to change her like in the middle of the night or in the early morning, sometimes that gets me a little more time if I do it like 4 a.m. Then she'll sleep a little longer in the morning. I started giving her these at night, just like with water. We are probably gonna night wean her in like a month and a half, and I'm a little anxious about it, but I feel good about it. It was relatively, I don't want to say easy, but it went better than I thought with my oldest. And this one, I think she'll be fine. It's gonna be fine. I love it. There's definitely pros and cons. I did a whole pros and cons of it The pros for me are like attachment, security. Bedtime is not like, it's kind of something that I enjoy. I feel like it's not a huge fight with Aaliyah because she's with us. And if you've already co-slept with one and you feel confident with it, the second one will be a breeze. So I hope that this video was helpful if you were looking for some logistics. If I am missing anything obvious or you have any more questions, I always read every single comment. So just add a question to the comments and I will see you guys next time. Mwah. Bye.